Delay, deny, defend. It's the playbook that a lot of clients use to avoid paying musicians. Have you ever waited weeks or even months to get paid after a gig, or even been told that we'll pay you once we count the ticket sales? This frustrating cycle happens all the time, but today I'm breaking down these tactics that they use and showing you how to protect yourself from them. So if you're tired of waiting for your money and being undervalued, stick around, you'll want to hear this. So, unfortunately, we live in a world where people are really greedy and selfish. And there used to be a saying that says, at the end of the day, all people do is think about themselves. But I think today that saying needs to be changed to, at the beginning of the day and every hour after, all people do is think about themselves. But never has this whole selfishness and greediness thing been more true than when it comes to money. I have a situation I'm dealing with right now where somebody owes me money for a gig I did. And in my next video, I'm going to be talking about that person in this entire situation, and I'm naming names and everything just in case you come across this person in this band, you'll be protected from it. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that video. But when it comes to money and paying musicians, we get every excuse in the book, from we didn't make enough money, or we didn't sell enough tickets, or we didn't sell enough liquor at the bar to pay you, and on and on. And this isn't just some individual problem that happens here and there. This is an industry-wide problem of undervaluing musicians. So let me tell you about this time I was playing this gig and this happened to me, and this is gonna blow your mind. So I started doing some gigs with a drummer that I had met many years ago, but I got really irritated with him because he would get the gigs, and all of the gigs that he would accept would be the most unprofessional gigs that you can think of. So he got us this gig playing one night, and we were supposed to play at this club from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. So I pull up to this club at about 7:15, and when I pulled in the parking lot, it was completely dark, like nobody was there. 7:30 rolled around, nobody. 7:45 rolled around, still nobody there. So I get on the phone and call the drummer like, hey bro, what's up? Where you at? Like, nobody's even at this spot. And he was just like, I'm on the way and the owner will be there shortly to open up the spot. And then the owner pulls up at like 8:15 to open the club. And then the drummer himself pulls up like 8:35, 8:40. Mind you, we were supposed to start at 8 p.m. So I'm extremely irritated. So of course the owner wanted us to wait to start playing until people arrived at the club, which ended up being around 10 p.m. when we started, which is 2 freaking hours later than what we were supposed to. And then of course he wanted us to play longer, so we ended up playing until like 1 a.m. But this is the part that's gonna blow your mind. So we get done with the gig, I break down my stuff, I load it to my car, and I come back in the club to wait to get my money. So I'm sitting there and time is passing, and I'm asking the drummer like, hey bro, like what's up with the money? And he's just like, man, the owner is counting it now. And I was like, what do you mean he's counting it? So after sitting there for an hour waiting on my money, the owner comes out and calls us to the back and says, hey man, I want to talk to y'all for a minute. And we go in there and sit down, and he proceeds to propose this business idea to us. He says, man, I'm promoting all of these events and I want y'all to be the house band for it. And how I'm going to pay y'all is I'm going to give you a percentage of the door. So whatever we make on the door at these events, you're going to get a percentage of them. So I'm sitting there like, what the heck is going on right now? Like, what is this dude even talking about? So I just responded, I'm like, man, I don't know about all of that, but what's up with my money for tonight? So this dude says, well, that's why I'm talking to y'all, because we didn't make enough money tonight to pay you what we said we were going to pay you. And I don't know if you've ever seen those Tom and Jerry cartoons where their face turns red and smoke starts coming out their ear, but I swear that was me when he said that. And I was so angry that I just walked out, and I never did another gig with that drummer again. But I'm curious, what's the craziest excuse you've heard from someone trying to avoid paying you your money? Drop it in the comments and let me know, because I know I'm not alone in this. But that night taught me a really painful but valuable lesson on how a lot of people operate in this industry. And the thing is, this kind of stuff is happening to musicians everywhere, every day. And that's why I want to dive deeper into these strategies that some clients use to delay, deny, and defend against paying us what we're owed, and how you can see it coming and stop it before it happens. So how they use the delay tactic is with excuses like processing time or accounting issues, which, by the way, is the exact excuse that I'm getting from this guy that owes me money that I was telling you about earlier and that my next video is going to be about. It's the same excuse. But this causes musicians to do stuff like chase people down and keep calling and keep texting them and all of that. Like, why do I need to keep calling and texting you when it's you that owes me money? Now, how they use the deny tactic is they just outright refuse to pay you, using excuses like being dissatisfied, or even worse, making up some lie about you not doing what they asked you to do. Hey, we wanted you to play Uptown Funk and you didn't do it, so we're not paying you. And this makes musicians feel really powerless because at this point, there's nothing you can really do about it unless you have a contract in place, which is why I always recommend musicians use contracts for their performances. And I have some contract templates that you can download that have everything on them that you need, and they're completely free, and you can download them at the link in the description of this video. Now, how they use the defend tactic is they'll start fighting back a little bit once you start pressuring them about giving you your money. They'll say stuff like, oh, you misunderstood when you were supposed to get paid, or misunderstood how much you were supposed to get paid. They'll basically find some way to try to put the fault on you, saying stuff like, we never agreed to that amount. But again, contracts handle all of that nonsense. So let's talk about how you can safeguard your career and avoid all of these traps. And really, there's 3 tips, and they're really expert tips, so don't miss this. Number 1, in addition to contracts, you want to clearly communicate your expectations about your pay and everything else before you agree to do a gig. And get a deposit up front. Getting a 50% deposit, which is the standard, ensures that you're protecting your time, and it ensures you're working with serious clients. Number 2, handle any delays that you may have with the deposit or the remaining 50% that you're getting after the gig professionally, but assertively. You can simply say something like, hey, I'm just following up with you to make sure you received my invoice. The due date for this payment was such and such, and I would really appreciate a confirmation on when I can expect the payment. Following up professionally and assertively not only reinforces your professionalism, but it increases the likelihood that you will get paid on time without burning bridges. Now, following that, and this is extremely important, don't be afraid to burn bridges with people who owe you money. I know we have this thing of not wanting to come off a certain way because we feel that if we do, the person may not offer us any more gigs and all of that. I've felt that way many times too, but trust me when I tell you, if you allow them to do it one time, they will do it again. And plus, anybody that's willing to treat you like that, you don't want to be working with them anyway. Setting boundaries shows that you value your craft. And trust me, the right clients will respect you for it. Now, if you think all of that is bad, you won't believe how much of this exploitation happens to church musicians. It's a huge problem, and it's time we talk about it. So watch this video to uncover the truth about how church musicians are being undervalued and what we can do about it.